闇が怖くてどうするあいつが怖ってどうする足踏みしてるだけじゃ進まない男なら誰かのために強くなれ歯を食いしばって思いっきり守り抜け転んでもいいよまた立ち上がればいいただそれだけできれば英雄さ男なら誰かのために強くなれ女もそうさ見てるだけじゃ始まらないこれが正しいって言える勇気があればいいただそれだけできれば英雄さ
Hey everybody, welcome back to Month of Bionicle here on Zero Reviews. I'm Zero, your host, and today we'll be looking at Bionicle 2 Legends of Metru Nui. So we get the usual introduction by Turaga Vakama, talking about Makuda's plan to overthrow Month of Nui, or at least part of it. Then we cut to a completely random Toa who goes by the name of Likan. I enjoy him a lot, and that's probably because he's the past generation member who passes on his legacy to the main characters. And he does just that, giving the Toa Stones to 6 Matoran who have vaguely familiar names to the Turaga from the Month of Nui Island saga. Okay, yeah, it's no secret. We're having a flashback with this here. So Likan runs into a snag when delivering the last one to Vakama. He gets captured by the Dark Hunters and taken away. Turaga Duma, who is totally not evil by the way, comes to check up on Vakama's progress on the Mask of Time.
It's not yet ready. Great masks take time to craft.
Perhaps you are using inferior discs.
Bring the completed mask to the Colosseum before the great contest. The destiny of Metru Nui rests in your hands.
Is it just me, or does Duma seem like a much bigger authority than the older Turaga? He seems like the Pope or something. Anyway, the 6 Matoran meet up and are transformed into Toa by a floating ghost head of Toa Likan? Oh, the Power Rangers vibes are flowing strong in this one, aren't they? The Toa figure out that they need to prove their worth as heroes, so they decide to collect the Great Kanoka Discs. So the Toa get to the arena and try to prove their worth to Turaga Duma, who doesn't believe they're Toa. So he gives them a test and sends out their first enemy, the most dreaded foe to ever be created. Turaga Duma sends out
the floor!
The Toa are pretty much humiliated, and Turaga Duma captures 3 of them, Onua, Wanua, and Nuju, while Nokama, Matau, and Vakama manage to escape. The film splits up into 2 paths from here, and it's pretty much the same theme, growth. We have Onua, Wanua, and Nuju learning about their mask powers through the help of a mysterious Turaga who's also in jail, while Matau, Nokama, and Vakama follow Likan's Spirit Star, hoping that it would lead them to him. On the way, they have to deal with the Dark Hunters and the Vaki. Oh, and on the way, Vakama gets more hints on creating the Mask of Time, while Nokama and Matau figure out their mask powers. During all of this, we see Turaga Duma talking to a shadowy figure in the background. Ha! I knew Turaga Duma was evil. I knew he was.
The shadow has arrived.
Well, shit. Wait. Does that mean Makuda was talking to himself? Oh well, I guess the best way to pull the attention away from you is to hide as a trusted ally, in this case a Turaga. But while I predicted Turaga Duma was going to be evil, I honestly wasn't expecting Makuda to have hid the original away, since I thought Turaga Duma was just something Makuda made up on the fly. Anyway, the 6 Toa meet up again, and the mysterious Turaga is revealed to be Likan, who gave up all his power to transform the 6 Matoran into Toa. So we're pretty much towards the end here. What is Makuda's big plan?
Makuta, you were sworn to protect the Matoran!
I shall. And when they awake, I will be their great leader.
It's actually not that bad of a plan, and to be fair here, it was kind of foreshadowing later events in Bionicle. Afterwards, he puts Month of Nui to sleep and causes everything to get grim and dark. The Toa attempt to escape with some of the Matoran in order to regroup, but Makuta follows them after absorbing his pet bird and the Dark Hunters. Vakama eventually tries to fight off Makuta with the completed Mask of Time. However, since all he can do is slow down time, Likan takes the hit for Vakama and passes away, giving our hero newfound strength though, and making him realize what his mask power is: invisibility. While this touching moment happens, Makuta grabs the Mask of Time and thinks he's won. Vakama decides to screw with Makuta and knocks the mask into the ocean. Makuta is obviously pissed and wants to absorb Vakama due to his insolence. So Vakama does a smart thing. Since Makuta needs to drag an object into him in order to absorb it, Vakama has Makuta dragging pillars towards him and weakening him while getting on his nerves. Makuta then grabs a pillar larger than himself and gets slammed into a wall because of that. The other Toa show up and they combine their powers to seal Makuta away. The Toa then leave Metru Nui and we get a large time skip over a bunch of arcs, including next year's storyline, and we're back on the shores of Mata Nui. The Toa give up their power in order to awaken the Matoran and transform into Turagas. We also see how Jolly got his mask. It was actually Likan's that he was wearing, which is pretty cool in a way. So, Legends of Metru Nui is over, and do I like this story? Hell yeah, I do! It's a nice coming-of-age story, more so than Mask of Light did with Takua. They did the right thing by focusing on the Toa this time, their journey from being pretty carefree and reckless to great heroes who ended up doing a lot in their time. The action is great, the character dynamics are pretty good. It's just all around a great movie, and it's my favorite out of all of the Bionicle movies. The other characters served their roles just fine. Krika and Didiki were the generals of the big bad and were threatening. The Turagaduma we see in this movie is very obviously a villain, but it works since, well, it's Makuta. What did you expect? Not only that, but Likan was a great mentor figure in this movie, but like Kamen Rider Skull, he too had to make a sacrifice in order to pass on the torch. So let's talk about presentation and music. So I feel the other models aside from the Matoran are a step up. They have more of their own style to it, while also feeling familiar with you being able to pick apart pieces of their sets and the designs. Also, Makuta. He's pretty much a rehash of his design in the first movie, but with wings. You're probably noticing I'm not too mad at this. Well, while my complaints about Makuta are the same, I have some positive things to say. Remember, the gap between both of the movies, Mask of Light and Legends of Metru Nui coming out, is only about a year. They had to make brand new models for tons of characters, Turagaduma, Likan in both of his forms, the Toa, and so forth. The only models that really stayed the same were the Matoran, and even then it's easy to make them different. You just need to change some colors. So I understand why Makuta still looks like he did, though it would have been nice to see him in an amalgamation-like form like what we had with the Ultimate Duma set. The pacing is fine for the most part. Obviously they have to skim over most of the details since they're telling most of the 2004 storyline in this. It was easier in Mask of Light because they were only telling the final story arc in there. The lore is also spot on like usual, and the voice acting is better in this movie, which is nice to hear, and yeah, there's not much I can really say on this part. The music again, with all these movies, I don't really have an opinion on it. It's just there. It does its job, and that's about it. So it's time for the final verdict. Legends of Metru Nui expands upon the original concepts, and tells a nice origin story to the whole series, which is always good. We get good action scenes with the Toa, and it becomes a nice coming-of-age story. It is easily my favorite out of all the Bionicle movies because of the many reasons I've already listed. With Legends of Metru Nui done, we'll be taking another break in the movie schedule. Join me next time for a Zero Recommends. I'm Zero, and this was Zero Reviews. I'll be seeing you guys next time.
の合図が手縫いを塗り替えたカンカンカンと響いたあいつの足音形勢は深くて今してどんでんは不安定キキキッと睨んだ花話はあでやかに重ねた手のひらに見えた覚悟という